Hi, I'm Kamika Fullerton Delissa, a real estate broker associate with Remax Elite. If you're going to be making any kind of investment, big or small, you want to ensure you understand properly what you're doing. So for a real estate transaction, which is one of the biggest investments you'll ever make, you want to ensure that you have proper, sound legal advice. Someone to guide you on the terms of the contract, on the process itself, so you understand and have a level of comfort and are best protected. Sometimes things can't change necessarily the terms of a contract, but it will help you to manage your expectations and to minimize your risks when you understand with proper advice what it is that you're getting into. In real estate transactions, you have different kinds of contracts because there are different types of properties that you may be buying. You could be, for example, buying into a new development. You are buying based on plans that you have seen. The property does not yet exist for you to examine, so you may be examining things from the documents that the developer has presented. So that's certainly going to be a different contract than a contract, for example, for land alone that exists, as well as a contract for a house that already is built and you can examine. So there are different types of contracts. They're structured differently, and you will need to understand what it is you're doing in all of them, because there are different explanations, there are different elements that come up, or different issues can arise in the different kinds of contracts. Someone who goes into a real estate transaction without an attorney, it's like going to war with paper guns. It's like driving a car with blindfolds. You need to be protected, and your best protection comes from getting legal advice, and not just legal advice generally. It's important to have sound, solid legal advice. And the best way for you to get that is to go with someone who is properly trained and has experience, because experience counts for a lot. So your best advice is to go into the real estate battle with a conveyancing attorney who is experienced, seasoned in the process. So they would have seen a lot of the things that can come up and can help you better navigate what can be a really treacherous journey. Okay, it may seem like a lot when you're going into a real estate transaction, but of course the largest cost is the property itself. Some of the fees from the purchaser side, you're looking at you share in the stamp duty, which is $2,500 is your half share. You also have to pay your attorney's fees. Typically, attorney's fees are about 3%, although they may be negotiable. You have to do your surveyor's report and your valuation report. And the average cost of that is about 0.3% of the value of the property. Many of the things are dependent on value of the property. You also have costs associated with the mortgage. Now, mortgage fees in total can range anywhere from, I'd say, perhaps 3 to 6 or 8%. The great thing about it is that you can get great help at no cost by using a realtor, because that is one of the fees. That's one of the professionals, perhaps the only professional in the process that you don't need to pay. Okay, so here you are buying a property. From a buyer's perspective, the first step in the process is having your offer accepted. If you're using a realtor, you'll have a formal offer to purchase, which you sign. The offer is presented, and when it's accepted by the vendor, then instructions are sent to the vendor's attorney for the preparation of the sale agreement. So the vendor's attorney will prepare the sale agreement and negotiate with the buyer's attorney. So your attorney as purchaser will be negotiating with the seller's attorney the best terms possible for both parties. Once the sale terms are agreed, then the sale agreement will be sent for you, the buyer, to sign. You sign, pay your deposit, and then the sale agreement is sent over to the vendor for the vendor to sign. Once the vendor has signed, purchaser has signed, and deposit paid, you have a binding contract. You can now say you have a foot in the door. After that, you're going to be taking certain documents, your personal documents, birth certificates, things to your pay slips, some of your personal documents you'll be sending to your loan officer, along with documents that your attorney will provide related to the property. The property related documents would be like the property tax certificate, water rate receipt, and of course the fully executed sale agreement itself. You'll also be required to submit a surveyor's report and a valuation report. Those are your responsibility as purchaser. As to when you do it, the timing can depend. Some people do it before they sign the sale agreement. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. But you have to submit with your mortgage application your surveyor's report and your valuation report. Your loan officer, it usually takes up between 30 to 45 days for that loan approval process to be completed, after which you're issued your letter of commitment. Your loan has been approved. Yay! After that, the bank will instruct its attorneys, or sometimes it's done in-house, to issue the letter of undertaking, which is like a guarantee, guaranteeing the payment of the amount that they have approved you for. You will have documents you'll need to sign with your mortgage company accepting the loan. You may get an offer outlining all the details, or you may have to sign the commitment letter. You'll also be required to sign the mortgage deed itself. After you've signed all those documents, the only other part of the process that involves you is the payment of the shortfall, if there's any. Now, shortfall relates to the balance purchase price minus what you're getting approved for, if there is any difference between that. If you, after taking into account your loan, there's any difference, you have to pay that. That's called the shortfall. Once you've paid that, you're simply waiting on the process to be completed, waiting on your keys to be handed to you. That's assuming it's a house. The rest of the process is dealt with between the vendor's attorney and your mortgage company, or your mortgage company's attorneys, where title is transferred into your name. Your name goes on the title as the purchaser, and then the mortgage proceeds are paid out. The balance purchase price is paid out to the vendor, and as purchaser, you now wait on your closing package, which will include letters confirming your ownership of the property, as well as your keys. So you now own the property. That's it for you. And of course, you pay the necessary professionals at the end of the process. A seller in a real estate transaction has a very easy road, because largely what you'll be doing is signing and paying. Most of the work is undertaken by the seller's attorney. So the relevant documents are prepared in relation to the sale. Sometimes there's a requirement to update your title. It could be a simple update. For example, your name isn't spelled correctly, but there could be some more complicated updates that need to be done. For example, if the title is lost and an application has to be made for a replacement title, or if there's a death, one of the persons on the title is deceased, it could be a notation of death, or it could be something where you have to do a probate application. So depending on the nature of the update that's needed, there is some more legal work that is required. But from the vendor's standpoint, it's really just signing documents and providing what the attorney needs. Providing, for example, the information on your property taxes if you've been paying your taxes, providing the property tax receipt, providing the water receipts, or in some instances your attorney may settle those for you, but you need to provide the information to the attorney. Other than providing information, signing documents, you're really just waiting for your money. Provide your banking information, however it is you want to receive those funds, and those are paid to you. That's pretty much it for a vendor. Closing in Jamaica is not like in the States. So in the US or certain other territories, there's a formal closing where you sit around the table and there's some handover of documents. In Jamaica, it's not so. Because the registration process takes place at the titles office, and your mortgage company, if you get a loan, is going to be the one to keep the title. Closing here, or completion, is really when you get your package and with the relevant documents showing that you're the owner, and get your keys. So there's not so much of a closing process. You actually don't need to you just need to come and pick it up from your attorney's office, or in some instances it's sent to you. So it's very different from overseas. Or completion takes place when the title is transferred at the title's office and monies are paid over by your mortgage company or your bank, and then you get your package to close.